Or my mom will do all the cleaning. Wait.
They're having a whimpering dog.
Alright. So,
Awesome. Well, I'm Henry Popp. I like to go in storm drains. It's sort of an urban exploration thing. It's just one of my good hobbies.
Good hobby.
Good hobbies.
Well,
What are the bad hobbies?
I like storm draining. It's fun.
Alright, so how did you first get interested in storm drain?
Well, my first drain ever, it was actually out back behind my middle school, and I saw it, and it took me, honestly, about 3 weeks to actually get the courage to, like, walk into it more than, like, 20 or so feet. But, after that, no, I went with a friend of mine, and we explored the whole thing and climbed out of a curbside drain just off this random road, and after that I was hooked, because it was just so mind-boggling that, you know, there's tunnels underground that just go other places. Yeah.
So that's the most, that's the thing that you like about it the most, is that you can just go around?
Well, yeah, like, no, it freaks people out, like, when you just suddenly emerge from underground. There was actually a guy restocking a vending machine, like, not more than 50 feet from us, and he just kind of was, you know, like, staring at us as we came out, just like weird underground drain people.
The whole people exist.
So is storm draining actually legal, or?
Oh yeah, it's completely legal. It's all city-owned property, so it's basically like going in a park, except it's a concrete tunnel. But that said, though, we usually have cops approach us just about anywhere. I mean, I like to go late at night, so when you come out of them, they automatically assume you're doing something illegal. But so far, I haven't been arrested for anything, so that's good.
And what kind of preparation goes into storm draining?
Well, first you have to actually find the drains. You can just drive around and look for them, but that's not always the most effective. A lot of times I'll just get on Google Maps and I'll just spend a good half hour or so, you know, just looking for where creeks suddenly disappear, or, you know, sometimes you can even see the tunnels themselves from the satellite view.
Hear the stupid dog.
But yeah, once you locate them, you just grab your gear. I usually take a couple flashlights, my drain boots, and that's really all you need.
Hey.
Is there anything dangerous about it?
Well, if it rains while you're in there, you're pretty much gonna die, like straight up. The tunnels themselves can actually fill up with water in about 5 minutes after a heavy rainstorm. So if you're more than like 200 feet from the entrance, you probably won't make it out in time. I mean, like, you'll physically get washed out of the drain, but you will probably drown in the process. There's actually a phrase, it's called when it rains, no drains, because otherwise, you know, like, I don't even go if there's a 10% chance of rain. Like, that's how dangerous it would be.
Have you ever found anything interesting in the drain?
It's usually just trash. I mean, like, one time I found a spoon, which I don't know how that got there. There's a lot of, like, gift cards and stuff, and I guess, like, fast food wrappers. I did find a dollar bill once. That's the only money I've ever found in a drain, ever.
Alright, and then describe your favorite storm drain.
Ooh, my favorite storm drain. Wow, that's tough to say. I mean, I guess at least one of my favorites. It was one of the first ones I ever went in. It's basically it's this long tunnel that just opens up into a really big room, and I guess the room itself, it's like 40 by 60 feet. It's probably the biggest, like, inner space I've found, and a lot of times I just go in there to, I don't know, just smoke hookah and do whatever. I mean, this was back before I turned 18, so there wasn't really any place to go except underground.
Stop.
But I mean, yeah, I've been in other drains that, like, they'll be something like 20 feet tall, and they'll go on for forever, and you find all these really weird, interesting formations. There was actually, I just went in a drain about a month ago that it was like connected to a much older portion of drain that may have been like a railroad bridge or something. Because like I approached it, and there was like this stone stairwell that led to the ceiling that didn't go anywhere, and then like this perfectly formed brick arch that just continued back. And I mean, that was probably built like close to 100 years ago. But yeah, I followed that on, and it was suddenly I found myself downtown. I forget the cross streets. I crawled in a little side tunnel, and I was kind of like looking up through the grates. They had it permanently welded shut, so you couldn't get out that way. But I mean, it was funny because a woman was waiting for the crosswalk like directly next to it. So I was just like looking up at her, and she had no idea. I didn't say anything either, even though I did get a call from someone while I was sitting there. But it's the drains, they take you interesting places, and you never know what's going to happen.
All right. So do you have any advice for people who might want to get into storm draining?
Best advice, I guess first off, don't go when it rains, definitely. Don't carry anything illegal on you because cops have nothing better to do. So that doesn't necessarily help your case. And I guess I'd venture to say don't go alone. I've been in drains alone before, but if something goes wrong, you definitely kind of need someone else there, because like you will not get cell phone reception at all. Unless you're like right by the entrance. But I mean, after that, like, just anything could happen.
All right, well, thank you for doing this interview.
No, it's a pleasure.
I don't know what I'm supposed to ask about the hobos, though.
I heard you one time got attacked by the homeless people.
I heard one time you got attacked by homeless people.
Oh, yeah, that was, I'd kind of had a bad feeling about the drain I was going to, and so I convinced my friend to take her car. And yeah, they basically broke into her car as we were returning from the drain. Fortunately, they weren't actually carrying any weapons on them, or at least I don't think they were. But it's like I walked up to the car, and there was one of them just coming out the back with a blanket full of stuff. And he saw me, and then he started running, and I started to go after him, and he dropped it like immediately, but I didn't quite realize that was all the stuff he took. So, I mean, there were two of them, and basically hobos aren't very fast, because I was able to chase him down pretty quickly. I was about to beat up one of them, but he suddenly like turned around and acted like he was going to draw a knife or something. So I was like, whoa, and he was like, yeah, I dropped it all, man. I dropped it. And I'm just all like, okay. And I mean, I guess we let him go, and then the cops came. We did a full police report and everything, but they didn't take anything. It was just a $200 windshield repair, which I still need to pay her back for that. I guess I never did. Yeah.
All right, hope.
Awesome.
Is there anything else?
That one time, are you rolling right now?
Let me see what all.
Oh shit, no. Remember that one time that I got pulled over with you?
Oh, with the cocaine incident? I was thinking about bringing that up when I was talking about don't carry illegal stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna put that.
Don't.
Okay.
Final project. Alright.
Okay, well, there's a technique, I call it yipping. It's just sort of a yip, or I guess more of a higher yip. Well, I can't. I'm sick right now, so it's not as good. But basically, you do a high-pitched yip, and based upon how long the echo takes to get back to you, you can judge how long a drain is. You can sometimes tell if it's going to turn well before you get there. You can also tell if it's just going to flat out end. I don't know. It makes people laugh whenever I do it, but it's an effective tool. Like, I feel kind of like a bat, but not really. Or even better, sometimes if you get the right kind of echo, you can sit there and you can sing a note, and then you can change your pitch and then harmonize with yourself in real time. Singing in storm drains is so much fun just because the acoustics are so weird. And it's usually something to pass the time if you're like walking a really long stretch of tunnel that just, is boring.
So the ones that like curve and change size and stuff are better than like
Usually, yeah. So a lot of times the drain planning doesn't really make sense. It'll go from like a circular tunnel to like a really big square one to like a red brick arch one back to a square one. It's sort of like you had all these different drains and they just somehow decided to link them all together. I've had drains that like awkwardly intersect other drains, so like it'll be like a 10-foot high pipe that you gotta like grapple up onto and pull yourself over if you want to explore it. There's been times like there's a junction room sitting under the tollway and bush that's about 50 feet tall, and it's got at least 3 or 4 side tunnels that dump into it, but these are like massive tunnels, and then there's just one ladder that goes all the way to the top. Wouldn't really trust it though. It's kind of calcified over, and it's very slippery and wet and disgusting, and it's just, you don't want to bother with it. But some of the drains, they're actually so old, their calcite formations will like block the little side tunnel, so it's just nothing more than just this like calcite circle in the side. It's a really cool formation, but doesn't. I guess it's just the blocking of a drain. Who knows where the tunnel went?
Have you ever gotten lost in a storm drain?
I can't recall of a time. Usually they're so logically streamlined that it's basically small tunnel leads to large tunnel and large tunnel leads to the outside. Every once in a while a small tunnel will suddenly become a big tunnel and then go back to a small tunnel, but it's not like there's this complex labyrinth underground. I mean, if anything, you just follow the direction of the water, and it'll take you out. I mean, if you get legitimately lost in a storm drain, you're pretty stupid. Yeah. All right. Seems good.
You haven't done storm draining in a while, huh?
Well, not since the hobo incident. There's another drain I was wanting to explore, but it's like really, really close to that last one. So I'm kind of hesitant now unless I take the train.
We're gonna have to go sometime for the second part of this project.
Oh, to get video. Well, okay. Here's the thing. Ruben needs a photo gallery or I guess a big photo book of storm drains. I actually wanted to document all the ones I've been in because I've been meaning to do that. So I figure, I guess you be the cameraman, he'll be the photographer, and I'll just take you to all the drains I know of. So.
Marathon storm draining.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do 2 a night for about a week, and we would have all the major ones around here. That'd be worth exploring.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Some of them, though, they're going to be physically demanding because you'll have to like hunch over.
Take him to the one with the jump.
Oh, the hospital drain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, it'll probably be that one, the big room, the tollway tunnel.
The big room's gonna be a pretty short one. Or are you gonna go all the way across? Are you gonna go to the other one, or are you just gonna go to the big room and just chill there?
I mean, just the big room's the big room. I don't know. The anarchist tunnel, it's not very interesting, but it is a tunnel. There's that one up near 121. There is. Ooh, what else?
You want dog?
There's the one downtown, but I don't think y'all want to. It's a cool tunnel. It's just sketchy. If we took the train, yeah, maybe.
What's sketchy how?
That's where Aaron's car got broken into. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, I don't want to get robbed or anything.
It's a famous drain, though. It's like one of the coolest I've been in. It's just, I don't know. It's up to you and Ruben.
Or something.
Y'all are gonna need drain boots if you don't have them. I think Ruben has. He should have some already. I got mine for like $20. They'll definitely save you. What other drains? Oh, Collin Creek one would be a good one to hit up. I need to do that.
Which one's the one that was by your house? Stop.
The big room.
That's the big room.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also the 635 and Tollway one. One's got a lot of red brick arches.